Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share with you the actual pricing for $5,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 79-year-old female. Now, first thing I'd recommend you do is go directly to our website at funeralfunds.com. And we've got these free quotes on just about every page. And all you need to do is just select the state that you live in. We are licensed in all 50 states, by the way. Select the coverage amount. Put your birthday in there and then fill out the rest of the info, click get quotes. Now, it'll take you to a page that's going to show you the best insurance companies with the lowest price based off your age, gender, and the state that you live in. And it will help you be an extremely well-educated consumer and insurance shopper. And then give us a call at 888-862-9456. And one of our agents can help you understand what you actually qualify for. Now, one of the first things we always talk with a 79-year-old female looking for $5,000 worth of insurance is that going to be an appropriate amount of coverage for your final expense needs? Now, final expense would typically be either a cremation or a burial. So let's talk about that cremation first. You have two options with cremation. The first is where you just get cremated and then you just come home in a cardboard box or an urn. That's going to be generally between $1,000 and $2,000. The second option is where you have some sort of a ceremony. You get cremated, some sort of ceremony, remembrance of life, celebration of life ceremony. That's typically going to be between $3,500 and $4,500, just depending what part of the country you live in. Now, as far as coverage amounts, that first option where you come home in the cardboard box or the urn, we would typically recommend and help people with around $5,000 to $7,000 worth of insurance. Now, you might be saying, well, Randy, you said the cremation was $2,000. Now you're recommending $5,000 insurance. What's the deal? Well, the deal is our 79-year-old female probably wants to make it to age 89, right? And we know that things are going to get more expensive over time due to inflation. So what we do is we actually build in some extra coverage and then lock it in at the lowest rates at the youngest age, which is right now at age 79. And that works out terrifically for a couple reasons. Number one, we take care of the inflation in the future and make sure that your family won't have to come up with any funds by providing enough insurance. And then early on in the policy, if you were to die sooner than anybody thought, there's some few extra dollars there to take care of some unexpected expenses, like maybe medical expenses, or there's some credit card bills or something, kind of expenses that if given the gift of time, you would have paid those off, but you just died a little bit sooner than anybody thought. So it works terrifically for most folks. Now, for that cremation where you can have the service, we would typically recommend somewhere between $7,000 to $10,000. That's what most people want and what most people get. And in that case, again, we're inflation proofing the plan for the long term, but also covering extra expenses in the short term. Now, for a burial, the average cost of a burial right now in the United States is right around $10,000. So if you walk into pretty much any funeral home in the United States with the $10,000 check, they should help you. You know, if they don't, you can always walk out the door and walk 2 blocks down the road to one of their competitors, and they should be able to help you. Just understand, though, that $10,000, that's kind of the cost it is today. It's not inflation proofed. So if if you're on a fixed or limited income and that's all you can afford is $10,000, go ahead and get that for right now. That takes care of your most immediate needs. We can always help you add more coverage later. But I will tell you that most 79-year-old females would typically get somewhere between $10,000 to $15,000. Now, if a body had to be transported out of state or something like that, it might be $20,000. But typically, it's somewhere in the neighborhood and area of $10,000 to $15,000. Now, the purpose of this video is $5,000. So if you're looking at $5,000, that's not going to take care of a burial. It's just not going to be enough money. But some people already have existing insurance, like maybe they have a $5,000 or a $7,000 or a $10,000 policy that they got earlier in life, and it was enough at the time, and they've just been blessed to live long enough that that's no longer enough. So if they add $5,000, that gets them right where they need to be. So that's where that might be appropriate. So also, sometimes we'll get somebody in that says, hey, I know I need to take care of my final expenses, but I also want to leave behind some money for my children or something like that. And they'll say, you know what, I'd like to maybe get 30, 40, $50,000. And we run them that price and they go, oh my gosh, no, we can't do that. It's too expensive. Well, the reason it's too expensive is because you waited until age 79. And of course, $50,000 is going to be expensive at age 79. So sometimes they'll say, well, you know what, if I can't do the entire 50 or 30 or 40, I'm not going to do anything at all. And we just have to have a conversation with them saying, hey, when you came in here, you knew you needed to do the final expense because we know you're going to die. There's no escaping that. Why don't we do that one first? And then at some point in the future, if you want to add more coverage, we can take out a separate policy that would go just to the children. And for most people, that just works terrifically. They're excited to do that. And then, you know, if funds aren't an issue, of course, we can do both of those at the same time for somebody. But most of the people we work with are on a fixed or limited income, Social Security or disability. So we really work with people to accommodate their budget. Now, one of the things we always recommend is getting first day coverage or benefits. We do not recommend those plans with 2-year waiting periods, and we'll go into that in a minute. But what first day coverage means is that hypothetically, if your plan were issued and approved today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would have to write that check for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, whatever it is. It's going to be the best coverage. It's also going to have the lowest pricing. Now, some people would say, well, you're right, Randy, I do want that first day coverage, but I'm not in the best of health and I'm worried I may not qualify because I know those plans ask health questions. To which we would say, hey, that's our responsibility, not your responsibility, at least from an insurance underwriting standpoint. And what I mean by that is we work with so many different insurance companies. They all have to ask different health questions and they all have different underwriting. So really right now, around 95% of the time and 95% of the people we help, we're able to get them first day coverage or benefits. Really, the only reason we wouldn't be able to get somebody first day coverage is if they just waited too long and they had some significant health issues, like maybe they had a terminal illness and they were going to pass away in the next 12 months, or they had dementia, or they were on dialysis or in a hospital or in a nursing home. If that were the case, we would typically refer that out to a different insurance company. One thing that also seems to happen on a weekly basis is somebody will call us up and say, hey, we had a family member pass away last week and they didn't have insurance and we don't have any money. And now the body's down at the funeral home and the funeral home director's not going to do anything till he gets some money in his hand. So we need to get this insurance really quick so we can get a check from the insurance company to pay the funeral home guy. We have to let them know that there's no insurance company in the United States that's going to offer a policy on a dead person. You have to be alive to qualify for this insurance. And it's unfortunate they had a loved one pass away, but it's also unfortunate their loved one didn't care enough about them to get this taken care of in advance. They knew they were going to die. They probably looked at this insurance before and they just put it off. And then one day they just went and died. And now the family members and loved ones are going to have to pay this off, and they're probably going to have to put it on a credit cards and pay 26% interest. And it's going to take years and years and years to pay this off. So yeah, just what a terrible legacy to leave behind. Don't do that. That's your last memory is going to be burdening people with expenses that weren't theirs to take care of in the first place. Yeah, don't do that. Just get this insurance. It's affordable. We can always start out small. We can always add more coverage later. Now, one thing we don't recommend, as I mentioned, was those plans with 2-year waiting periods. And Colonial Penn is a company that's pretty familiar to most people. They play those $9.95 commercials on TV. They run those like every 7 minutes, it seems. Well, you may not know this, but that $9.95 plan, that's a 2-year waiting period policy. Yeah, yuck, right? Yuck. We do not recommend 2-year waiting period policy. You should never accept a 2-year waiting period policy if you qualify for first day coverage, because you will significantly overpay and you will get sacked with a 2-year waiting period, which you don't want. So Colonial Penn isn't the only one to offer 2-year waiting period plans. There's other companies too. There's Mutual of Omaha, there's United of Omaha Line, AIG, Gerber. Man, so many different insurance companies. And some of these insurance companies have done an amazing job of convincing the American public that if you're over age 50, the only thing you're going to qualify for is a plan with a 2-year waiting period, to which we always say, don't fall for such nonsense, because we help people with first day coverage all day long. Yeah, so don't fall for that garbage. Now, our female age 79 probably just got done watching a Colonial Penn commercial. She's probably fairly impressed with the quality of the commercial. And she's probably thinking, man, I outsmarted Colonial Penn. I waited until age 79. I've lived this long, and it's probably finally time to get my life insurance. And, I'm probably going to get 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 because I just outsmarted the insurance company and waited so long. And then she talks with a Colonial Penn agent, or she goes online and checks their website like we're doing for you here, and sees that a female age 79, 1 unit of coverage, which is $9.95, is only going to buy $627 worth of coverage. So $627 is not even going to cover the most basic of cremations in anywhere we know of the United States. And it wouldn't matter if it did, because it's still got a 2-year waiting period where it won't pay out anything if you die of a health or medical reason in the first 2 years. So why would you ever get a plan based solely on a low price that had such minuscule coverage that's not going to really take care of anything that's going to kind of get closer to your goals of getting your final expenses paid off for your family? Why would you ever do that? Now, there's some people out there that say that insurance companies or other companies that offer these really low teaser rates, that they don't even want to sell you that minuscule amount of coverage. They call these teaser rates. They're just meant to tease you, to get you to send in your information, and then they get you in their marketing funnel. And then at some point you get a phone call, and you talk with them, and they say, they'll present this to you. They say, yeah, for $9.95 you can get $627, but that's not enough. You need more. Let's sell you more. And what they'll do is they'll upsell you to more coverage, which is massively more profitable to them. So we are not saying Colonial Penn would ever do anything like that, but there's some people out there that feel that companies do that. And I guess maybe you can just make your own determination based on the fact that you're only getting $627 for $9.95. Now, this video is about $5,000, so let's check that out. The challenge with Colonial Penn is you have to buy it by the unit. You can't buy 5,000. They won't allow that. That would be unacceptable. So we've got to kind of play around with numbers to see what it would be. Like 5 units is 3,135. Let's jump up to 7 units. Nope, that's not enough. This is what's frustrating for folks. You got to play around, and you can't even get what you want. So here you go. This is as close as you're going to get for a 79-year-old female. You can't get 5,000, but they'll sell you 8 units, and it's going to be $5,016. Evidently, that $16 is really important. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what that $16 would pay for. Stamps. But anyway, that's as close as you're going to get. But that's going to be roughly right around $80. So let's do this. Let's go see what first day coverage would be for a 79-year-old female. I think we're going to save you money. So we got 5,000 here, female, age 79, get quote. Let's go back and look at this real quick. Again, this is $80 for 5,000. And look at what we're doing here. We are actually, and I'll show you this again, 5,000 up here. So we are going to get 5,000 for right around $47. So, and this is preferred coverage, which this company means first day coverage. Level coverage means first day coverage as well. Here's another level. And, any one of these companies may be the better choice based off your health and age and smoker, non-smoker, kind of a whole bunch of other things. So just understand that. And if you look, they're all within the same kind of price range, within $1 or $2. So we can help you understand your options there. But yeah, what we typically see with Colonial Penn is they are typically right around, plus or minus, but they are typically right around 200% more in most cases, plus or minus, right? And that's about the case right here, because this is 80 and we're at about 47. So answer me this. What would you rather have? Would you rather have $5,000 in first day coverage for $47, or would you rather have $5,016 with a 2-year waiting period for $80? Yeah, most people go, I want first day coverage. Well, that's right. That's why we never recommend 2-year waiting periods when you qualify for first day coverage. You'll just be overpaying significantly. In this case, it's around $30, $35 a month, roughly. You're paying $35 more a month to go with Colonial Penn versus first day coverage. let's see, that times $35 a month times 12 months, that's going to be roughly $420 more a year you'll be spending. If our 79-year-old female makes it to age 89, you'll be overpaying right around $4,200 more. So why would you ever give like over $4,000 of your money to an insurance company unnecessarily? And you make that determination the minute you get the policy. So you just need to be an educated shopper. If you're not an educated shopper, then that's okay. You know, let us help you be an educated shopper, and we can help you find the best company out there that's going to get you first day coverage and the lowest pricing. So let's look at some other companies here. Let's see. You'll be able to see all these different companies here. Well, here's one like Lumico. They're first day coverage, but it's like $10 more a month. So you might go, well, that's not that much, not that big of a deal, $10 a month. Well, let's do the math on that. $10 a month times 12 months is $120 a year. If our 79-year-old female lives to age 89, you have overpaid right around $1,200. So imagine this, if you had $1,200 in your wallet and you were walking on the sidewalk, would you ever just pull out your wallet and throw $1,200 on the ground and walk away and let people pick it up? No, of course you wouldn't just throw money away. But that's essentially what you do when you overpay for insurance, too. You throw that money away. So yeah, be a smart shopper. We can actually help you be a smart shopper. Here's another one, Lincoln Heritage. They're almost $70 more a month. So it is level coverage, but why are they so much? Is it so much more expensive than the other insurance companies? Well, they've got a deal where when you pass away, they will supposedly call 2 or 3 different funeral homes to get the lowest pricing. Maybe do a couple other things, but they charge for that. They don't do that for free. Absolutely not. So that's roughly $69, $70. Let's go back and take a look. So yeah, it's like, I mean, it's more than $20, $21, $22. Let's just say it's $20 more a month for easy math. $20 a month times 12 months, that would be $240. And then if our 79-year-old female lives to age 89, that's 10 years, you would end up overpaying right around $2,400 more to go with Lincoln Heritage. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth overpaying an insurance company around $2,400 just to make 2 or 3 phone calls and do a couple of other things that maybe only takes an hour or so to do? A lot of people would say that's a pretty amazing payday for the insurance company, and we would tend to agree. And you know what? We really want you to keep that money in your bank account rather than transferring that wealth over to an insurance company's bank account unnecessarily. So what we recommend you do is let us help you get approved for the lowest price plan, depending which company you qualify for. And then we actually provide free of charge free funeral and estate planning guide. You can download that from our website. And once that's downloaded, print it out. And once it's printed out, fill it out. You write down who gets what goes where, and what you want done after you're gone. And then keep that with your insurance policy. And then when you pass away, your family members know where that is, and they'll know that they're protected financially with the insurance policy, but they'll also know that you protected them emotionally with the funeral and estate planning guide. And all they need to do is open up that funeral and estate planning guide and read it, and then just follow through and execute your wishes. And they'll know that you not only loved and cared about them in life, but that you actually loved and cared and protected them in death. And that's exactly when they would need you the most, when you weren't there, but you took care of this in advance. And what a wonderful legacy to leave behind. So if you want to leave a legacy like that, reach out to us at Funeral Funds of America. We've got a special quote for our YouTube guest, funeralfunds.com/YouTube. And you can get the best insurance companies at the lowest rates. You can price shop them all, and then give us a call at 888-862-9456, and we can help you understand what you're going to qualify for. So if you've got an existing insurance policy and you want us to price shop it to make sure you got the best deal, or you want to add coverage to that, we can help you out with that. If you're looking for a brand new policy or just have some questions on what might be most appropriate for you, we can help you out with that. But we look forward to that day where we can get you the most amount of coverage for the least amount of money. We'll be blessed to help you with this at some point in the future. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.